Let's talk about perimenopause today. Gentlemen, hold up. I realize you don't experience perimenopause yourself, but I also know you have women in your life that are dealing with perimenopause. So stick around and learn something that may help them. And ladies, did you know perimenopause can start in your mid to late 30s? So if you think you're not there yet, you just may be. So if you're in perimenopause and gaining weight, especially around the middle, and you feel like what used to work just doesn't work anymore, this is usually not a sign of willpower. Clinically, it's often a predictable set of drivers. And as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, my role is to help you identify your dominant drivers and build a plan to manage them. In FDN, we don't start with a random supplement or a random diet. We start with investigation and pattern recognition. What's driving your dysfunction in your specific case? A helpful framework that we use is HIDDEN, HIDDEN. The H stands for hormones, which is estrogen, testosterone, you get it. The I stands for immune, like your immune system, what keeps you from getting sick. The first D is digestion. So, in other words, how well your gut is literally digesting your food. The second D is detoxification. How well are you clearing those bad things in your life, like microplastics and chemicals that may be found in your lotions or perfumes? Anything that needs to be filtered through your body. The E is for energy. How much actual power and energy do you have to get through your day? And the N is for the nervous system. This is your anxiety, depression, happiness, anything that's impacting your nervous system. We do have a little extra O on the end for oxidative stress, which is your imbalance in the cells causing instability. So when we're talking about weight gain and perimenopause, often this sits at the intersection of the H for hormones, the E for energy, and the N for nervous system. And sometimes there's a little I, the immune system, in there if inflammation is part of the picture. So today I'll start with 3 drivers I see most often that are causing issues in perimenopausal women. Number 1 is glucose dysregulation or insulin resistance. Number 2 is sleep disruption. And number 3 is stress physiology and reduced recovery capacity. As we talk about these, I'll tell you how to manage these using the D.R.E.S.S method. D is for diet, R is for rest, E is for exercise, S is for stress, the second S is for supplementation. So driver number 1, glucose dysregulation. This is often called insulin resistance, and it's an energy issue and is tightly linked to your nervous system. So things to ask yourself: do you crash mid-afternoon? Do cravings show up late in the day? Do you wake at night and feel wired? Do you feel better when you eat protein early? Some things to discuss with your clinician include A1C or fasting glucose, your triglycerides and HDL pattern, and sometimes fasting insulin. When thinking about those D.R.E.S.S actions, for diet, eat your protein first breakfast. Balance all of your meals with protein, fiber, and some color. For the R, rest, consistent wake times. Go to bed and get up consistently every day, even on the weekends. Sleep truly does impact your insulin sensitivity. And the E for exercise, think about strength training as a baseline and taking a walk after your meal. Driver number 2, sleep disruption. In perimenopause, sleep issues can be a hormonal variability plus stress physiology plus blood sugar patterns. Triple whammy. So think about things like, do you have trouble falling asleep? Do you typically wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. and think you're wide awake and it's still the middle of the night? Are you having any of those waking up moments where you're feeling hot and sweaty? D.R.E.S.S activities for this particular thing include: D for diet is to stabilize your dinner. Avoid high sugar late night snacks. For the R, rest, again, back to that consistent going to bed and waking up time. Make your sleep area cool and keep the room dark. Reduce or remove alcohol. Finally, S for stress. Same downshift routine nightly. So, for example, put down your phones, read a nice quiet book, do some meditation, listen to some nice quiet music every night before you go to bed. Make it a pattern and a habit. Driver number 3 is stress, physiology, and recovery. In FDN, we care less about is stress bad and more about is your nervous system actually stuck in high gear. That changes your appetite, your sleep, your inflammation, and your exercise response. So, D.R.E.S.S actions you can take to help with your stress, physiology, and recovery include R for rest. So, again, following the same things we've already mentioned and treat recovery like a clinical variable. E for exercise, build capacity. Again, some weight training, walks after meals, and avoid constant high intensity workouts if recovery is poor. S for stress. Take some time out. Take some deep breaths. Try to relax. We'll talk more about some other things that you can do for stress in a later video. So, one thing I want you to think about doing is monitoring for at least 2 weeks what's happening with you as part of your detective plan. So, number 1, track your sleep timing. Are you going to bed and getting up at about the same time every day? Are you having the notorious hot flashes or waking up with night sweats? Are cravings hitting you throughout the day, especially late in the evening? Are you seeing your energy dip, especially in the afternoon? And what about your cycle? Are you seeing any changes with it? Number 2, implement the D.R.E.S.S basics. So many of the things we've already talked about. Protein first in your breakfast, that 10-minute walk after your meal, keeping up with those consistent wake times, and reducing or removing alcohol. And number 3, reassess and decide what to further investigate with targeted labs based on your pattern. My job is to help you discover what's driving your weight gain and what you need to do to plan to manage it. If you're interested, I'll put a link in the description below for a 2-week tracker that you can use to help track your symptoms to determine if your perimenopause is truly impacting your daily life. And again, I'm here to help you discover what you need to do. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can always schedule a call on myheartforhealth.net. See you next time.